My official battle with anxiety started at the age of 20. I think it was always in me though. I was a nervous kid, very overexcitable, never able to sit still. My brother used to do this impression of me as a young kid rubbing my genitals when I got excited, which wasn't like, no, there's nothing like that. It was just me just like finding that, just that and he's not here today, but he'd do a very good impression of that. It slowly developed into, because I realised that society didn't want you rubbing your genitals as you got older. So I started going to like ruffling my hair a lot, and then it started to become this nervous chest rub. The official title of generalised anxiety and panic disorder was stamped on my chest at 20 after I overdosed on psilocybin mushrooms in Laos. Over a 4-hour period, I was prevented from jumping out of a window to a certain death by my best friend Sam. I began having heart palpitations and passed out stone cold before being rushed to a very dingy hospital. So London really was the best and worst decision of my life, or the best thing that ever happened to me. London, for anyone who hasn't been, is truly the most frenetic and overwhelming place when things are going good, so you can only really imagine what it was like when I felt my life was falling apart. My first month in Europe was incredible, all the vices a young man could dream of. Then there was a bit of the cocaine and the vicious come-downs. Then there was the period of unemployment. Then I ran out of money a bit too soon. And then the panic attack. So I wrote a piece that described everything I was going through, how my body was screaming and I'd almost had enough. I truly think it did save my life. Because I was so embarrassed that this had happened to me again. Like, I know I wasn't as open about it in my 20s, but some of my mates knew that I was, I struggled coming back from Thailand, Southeast Asia. But during this period, it was like, it happened again. So I was so embarrassed telling people, and that started to lead to my, premature, very emotional being. But I feel no shame for it. We're all so different, yet there is this comfort in reducing ourselves to being emotionally blunt and neutral, and we are so much worse for it. It's okay to feel something. It's okay to not be happy all the time. It's okay to get help and, talk to someone when you're not feeling like yourself. This social pressure to fit in doesn't stop at high school. It continues on, and it's like the only time it's fine to be larger than life is when you are 10 drinks down and you're at a bush doof in the middle of nowhere. I refuse to hide from the embarrassment of a mental disorder. I refuse to allow someone who doesn't understand to broadly fill in the gaps of the agony, misery and pain I've felt over the past 7 years. I also refuse to get complacent about my mental health, which has improved significantly over the past 3 months, because a mental disorder is with you for life. I check in with myself every day, avoid dipping too far into the world of social media, and feel what I need to feel. I know some of this might sound quite intense, but having a mental disorder is intense. We could hope and wish that for that quick fix, and where with time and rest comes a clear mind, but in afflicted men and women's lives, it becomes everything. Every waking moment of wanting to get better, wanting to feel like you again, wanting to not have to think about everything that might be coming, hear those voices, sense those doubts, crumple in their nothingness, and feel that invisible yet excruciating pain with an excerpt from my 7-piece To My Anxiety. My sadness has crystallised into dense reflection. I am not a failure. I am not weak. I am not less of a man. I am not out of my depth. I'm just struggling. That's all it is. I'm strong. I am resilient. But I can't do this alone. I can't explain to people how hard it is without releasing the pressure. A nervous laugh. A brush of the sleeve. Which brings me back to the aforementioned question. Where to from here? I can sit around and hope. I can drink myself stupid. I can curse the hand I've been dealt and wallow in self-pity. Or I can make something of this. I can piece it back together. I can wake up in the morning and push myself through the side effects that pulse through my body. I can run for a couple of miles to test my body's resilience. I can write and write and write. I can talk to people. I can listen. I can appreciate the hard times that come sailing through us all. I can find contentment. I can find love. I can grab your hand and whisk you into places we never expected to be. I can cry, beam, chortle, gasp, sob and scream all on the same day. For I am emotional and exuberant and flamboyant and insecure and scared and hopeful all at the same time, and I refuse to be defined by your presence. But I'm coming to accept that life doesn't owe you anything. There are periods of your life you can't wish away with lamentation. There are bad days you can't skip and mistakes you can't undo. But there are people who love you, moments we will never forget, and discoveries we'll only make by using the good and bad days as our beacon. The challenges for each and every one of us never stop, but neither do the opportunities to learn about ourselves.